Thank you for staying with us. We begin with the challenge of insecurity, which continues to claim lives of innocent Nigerians. In a recent development, suspected bandits attacked 3 communities in Tangaza local government area of Sokoto State, killing more than 30 residents. The state governor, Ahmed Aliyu, visited the affected communities and condemned the attacks. Governor Aliyu donated cash and grains to families of those who lost their lives in the attack. Let's hear from the governor.
We are here to express our deep condolences to the families of the victims of the very unfortunate incident, which caused or claimed over 35 lives and a lot of properties and foodstuffs were destroyed in the incident. As you are aware, yesterday I had an emergency meeting with all the security operatives in the state. And inshallah, we are on top of the problem.
I think this is the essence of, a kind of breath of fresh air, having new people by saddle, because I can't remember when a governor visited the scene of any of this incident last, and donating grains and sympathizing with the families. Right now, we have a new governor in Sokoto State, and the governor is living up to, what he's meant to do by visiting the affected areas. Insecurity will be a major challenge for the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The president met with the 36 state governors for the first time today. And in my view, he has to sit with them and ask them the peculiar security problems in the various states. There are some states where the security problem they have is just cultism related. States like Akwa Ibom, even Lagos.
Calabar.
That's far more.
They have cultists in Calabar.
Yes. That area, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, they have them. In Lagos, we have far more cultism cases than other crimes. And that was why the state government even came up with the law that if you get caught, your parents will pay. So, but I think that it's gone down a bit in Lagos, but we still have even professional groups, organizers, painters, alakpata, they are into cultism. In secondary schools in Lagos here, we have cultists. Things that were unheard of.
People telling you that they are AA members.
As a secondary school.
As bragging about it.
Cultists in secondary school. We have it here. In the north, especially the northwest, the big problem is banditry. It's not terrorism. It's not really terrorism. They are doing it for the money. Which is against the definition of terrorism. The globally accepted definition of terrorism.
Terrorists, they don't want your money.
No, they want to take
want to wreak havoc.
People in Kashmir, for example, if people get killed in Kashmir, is it for the money? No, it's not. There's a difference between when the Muslim Brotherhood in Algeria, when they won election and the military refused to allow them to take over, they were beheading people. They popularized the idea of beheading people. They were targeting journalists, killing journalists. They were not doing it for the money. So when they kill people in this manner in the northwest, it is for the money. That is why they are bandits. It's not terrorism. And we have to, what enables these guys to carry on is what we have to attack. We have to know their modus operandi, what is really propelling them, because killing 30 people, burning houses, burning cars, just because people refuse to pay you levies. You levy people because they refuse to pay, you went and wasted 30 people. I mean, and when they tell you it's 30 people, you know that it must have been more than that.
60.
This is not the first time they will kill our people because our people refuse to pay levy. There was a time they killed 88 people in Kebbi State. It was because the farmers resisted them. The farmers were not used to it. What people are already used to in some parts of the northwest and even Niger, when they took it to Kebbi, it was strange to them that to harvest my crop, I have to pay you levy. And they tried to resist them, but they wasted people. This is what has happened in Sokoto. That whole area, especially the areas bordering Niger Republic, the local government of the former governor, Tairu Bafarawa, Isa, all of those places are no-go areas. No-go areas. So, under the new administration, these governors must sit with the president and say, okay, these are the security problems I have in my state. These are my own suggestions. How can you help us to solve these problems? We must do something. We can't continue with the way they were killing people in the last administration. There has to be a breath of fresh air. And going simply to commiserate with our people is not the solution. I want to see decisive action taken to put an end to the nonsense. Not simply to sympathize after the enemy has killed our people and gone. That's why the Sultan was angry the other day and was criticizing the army. That it is after these people have left that you will see them, they now show up.
I think the Sultan is there.
No, it may be. Look, it looks like it.
That
is the state. Yes. It's the state, so.
That's the Sultan.
Yeah, that's the Sultan. That's the Sultan. It's terrible.
It's a big...
This thing has gone on for too long.
This country is under-policed.
Of course.
These areas, there are some areas that you see that you don't have no trace of security presence at all. What we see in Lagos and other urban areas that we see policemen around and everything is not something you see in these areas. So terrorists, bandits will take their time. They will operate for hours without anybody.
Unrestrained.
Unrestrained.
It's not something anybody can argue about. And Nigeria as a country is under-policed. I recall my stay up north. There are places you will be for weeks. For example, there was a time we had reasons to be in Jibia town of Jibia local government in Katsina State. And it's on the border, towards the border with Nigeria. And I recall that one of us made a remark that, God forbid anything happens here. We've not seen security men, be it soldier or police, for weeks. But they have their local arrangements as regards law and order. But that will not suffice in situation of attacks. And that confirms to us that there is need for, like BKO said, there is need for this administration to do some things very decisively. I'm talking about what does happen in Sokoto. You recall that a few weeks back, similar incident played out in Kaduna again. And former Governor Nasir El-Rufai battled banditry till his last day in office. So much so that when he was leaving, he charged the incoming governor to be prepared to face that menace. And I want to agree with you that sometimes it is good to have new hands, new sheriffs in town. The new man in Kaduna, Senator Sonny Uba, is a known advocate of state police. I recall that he was the one who moved the motion for, a bill for state police, which almost scaled through sometimes in the last, in the current Senate. And while he was campaigning for governorship, he advocated and specifically stated that one of the things he will push for, he was hoping that the issue of state police will be resolved while he's governor. He said state police is the major solution to the issue of insecurity across Nigeria. And speaking on one of the recent attacks, he repeated the same thing, that we simply don't have enough men to man the various parts of Nigeria, the current policing system. But he feels that if we can encourage state police and other such arrangements, it will help tackle the issue of insecurity. Because you must understand, like we were just told, banditry appears to be quite different from terrorism. And whatever people do for money, it's always difficult to make them stop it. If they are doing it for a particular ideological reason, the moment you are able to convince them that the ideology is wrong or it is misplaced, there is possibility that they will let go. But if it is for economic gains, it's just like when people saw in kidnapping here in the southeast, even in Lagos at the time, in most parts of the south, kidnapping for money, for ransom, became rife because some people saw it as business. The Evans of this world copied it from the north and turned it to a mega box business. But the moment the people in the northwest realized that from cattle rustling, they can move to even human rustling, which is what they are now doing. You go in, kill people, ask for ransom, not because you have kidnapped them, but because they planted their own crops and they want to go and harvest. Then you don't need to do anything. Just come, they'll gather the money and give you. If they fail to do, you threaten to kill them. And when they dare you, you kill some of them. That's how bad the situation is. So we must sincerely take decisive step to end this terrible situation.
Generally, enough on this, if the new administration wants to tackle this head on, they've suggested, they've campaigned, and we wait that they will implement their security blueprints so that we'll see how they are going to handle the multidimensional problems we face in terms of security.
Yes, one of the plans that Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu has is to unleash the forest rangers, because our forests have been left unattended for so long. Look at the Kainji Lake National Park, a national treasure that people used to visit on excursion and all that. Today, ISWAP and other outlaws, they are occupying the place. The Niger State government complained that this place is now, and it's a very wide, expansive place. That's where we have these guys. So, Asiwaju wants to use forest rangers, police the forest, keep the forest safe. In Borno State, Governor Zulum has used what he called agro rangers to protect farmers on their farms. We have to, in my view, we have to expand that, put it on a national scale, see whether we can protect people in their farm, because it's hurting us. We need food security. We can't have food security when people get killed just for going to their farms. And these guys, I was reading that they also stopped the villagers from burying the dead. This is not the first time that they will do it. Just to teach people, you're going to retrieve the corpses of the dead, they will chase you back. I don't know what this level of wickedness, I've never seen it before. You've killed people. The villagers who ran away initially, they want to retreat their dead people and give them befitting burial. You still chase them away. Do you want to eat the corpses? What is the thing? What really is the issue? We have to deal decisively with these guys who are killing our people. It makes no sense. Government has to be seen from the get-go to be on top of the situation. Otherwise, it will only get worse, and before you know it, people will start saying, we told you that this government will not be able to deal with security. We pray that that will not be on the lips of Nigerians. It's one of the things that Asiwaju must solve. It's facing the economy. You know, everyone knows that That's his area of strength. But he has to also address the matter of
Security.
insecurity.
As reactions continue to trail removal of fuel subsidy,